Hey there, art explorers. The last few weeks we've done a lot of two-dimensional artwork with pencils and markers on paper. And this week I am going to look at more three-dimensional projects. And I also wanted to use things that I have and hopefully you have around your house, things that don't require special art supplies. And something we have a lot of at our house because I tend to save a lot of things are toilet paper tubes. I'm going to show you how we are going to easily turn a toilet paper tube into little owl sculptures. Aren't they cute? The only thing you'll need are toilet paper tubes, some magazines or grocery store flyers that you can cut up, some scissors, and some glue. So stick around, let me show you how I made these adorable little owl sculptures.
All right, friends, like I said, you're going to need several things. You will need a toilet paper tube, some glue, a pair of scissors, and then some magazine pages or pages from a grocery store ad. The first thing we're going to make are those feathers. Those little feathers are made of strips of paper that have been cut into fringe. I found pages from magazines that had colors or texture, like words on it, that I liked. And I cut those pieces of paper into strips about an inch thick, but it really doesn't need to be exact. I also liked some of the colors sort of being a little bit of a contrast. And so you can see on this time I'm cutting something that doesn't look like it has words on it. It's green. To make the fringe, I stacked my pieces of paper together and then I folded them a couple times so that when I cut the fringe, I would be cutting through several layers at once. I had to be careful when I cut the fringe that I didn't go all the way through the top of my piece of paper. I didn't want to have individual strips of paper. I wanted everything to still be attached. Once I had my fringe done, I wanted to curl the ends a little bit. So you can see I'm using my fingers to separate the pages. And then what I did is I used my thumb to gently curl the pages. You could also bend them. Either way, I wanted to have it look like the feathers were sort of separated. Owls have these funny feathers on the top of their heads that sort of look like ears. So to bend my toilet paper tube to make it look like those feathers, I gently pressed with my thumb on the top of the toilet paper tube, and then I sort of squeezed those ends so that it looked a little bit like those feathers. Now that I have those feather ears done on my toilet paper tube, I'm going to wrap my fringe around the base of the tube. I'm using glue, but I don't need a lot. Just a dot dot, not a lot of glue. I'm sure you've heard that at school. The extra I just snip off. So I'm putting 3 layers of fringe on. You could definitely do more if you wanted to. And I sped this up. You can see I am adding 3 layers of fringe pretty quickly. And I'm pressing and holding everything in place. And it is ready for some wings. You could do wings several ways. You could make your wings just straight down, or you could give them a little bit of dimension. That's what I did on mine. You saw that I sort of measured how long I wanted the wings to be. I folded another piece of magazine paper in half and cut sort of a teardrop shape. If I wanted to, I could put the wing on right now. But like I said, I wanted mine to have a little dimension. I wanted it to stick out a little bit. So what I did is I just snipped a little bit down that teardrop shape. I put a tiny bit of glue on one side of where I cut, and the other side I folded over gently and just pressed to hold the glue in place. I just need 2 dots of glue under each of those ear feathers and hold those wings in place. The next thing I'm going to make is the cute face on my owl. I cut out 4 circles. I cut out 2 bigger circles for the outside of the eyeballs, and then I happened to find some black paper and I cut 2 little black circles for the inside of the eyes. Some owls have some feathers between their eyes that are sort of in the shape of a V. So I folded a paper in half, cut a little V out, and then decided I wanted it a little shorter. That's the nice thing about this paper. You can trim it the way you want it. So there's going to be those feathers between his eyes. The last thing I need is a little beak. I was lucky. I found a coupon that had some orange on it for an orange beak, but this is not necessarily a realistic owl, so your beak could be any color. It's time to assemble him. The first thing I needed to do was put those feathers between his eyes down first. So once I put that down, held it in place, I put 2 little dots of glue for his eyes. And I put the 2 bigger dots on first. The 2 bigger circles went on first. In some cases, I decided to rearrange how I put those circles on. Then I put the black inside of his eyes on, and I pressed and held that glue in place. And then the last thing I needed to do was put on his little beak. And putting on his beak seemed to give him a lot of personality. I hope you have a lot of fun making owls at home with some easy supplies, and make sure if you do to send me a picture. Bye!